circus freaks that actually existed. Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged girl. Myrtle, who was born in Texas, was born with 2 extra legs, earning her the nickname the four-legged girl in the circus. She was actually born with 2 separate pelvises side by side, each of which sprouted a pair of legs. While her outer legs were fully developed, her 2 inner legs were significantly shorter. And unsurprisingly, she has been extremely popular since her debut as a freak show performer at the age of 13. In fact, she was such a popular attraction that many sideshows added fake four-legged girls to their lineup in order to compete with Myrtle. Despite her success, she retired from circus work at the young age of 18. She eventually married and had 4 daughters and a son, living a seemingly normal life despite her extra pair of lower limbs. Fannie Mills, the Ohio Bigfoot Lady. Even though some men have a genuine penchant for feet, Fannie Mills will pique their interest. Fannie's legs and feet, in particular, had swelled since she was born with the condition of lymphedema, which causes swelling in the extremities. In fact, her feet ended up getting so enormous that she had to wear size 30 shoes. But where would she purchase a size 30 shoe? In any case, Fannie's story is a good example of what the freak show scene was all about. This one girl had these really huge disgusting feet, and people gladly lined up to pay money to see them. Felix Werrell, the Elastic Man. Felix was dubbed the Elastic Man because he could stretch his skin out and bend his fingers backwards and forwards. Felix could stretch out the skin on any part of his body. This was due to Werrell's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that causes the skin to become extremely flexible. On the plus side, it was because of his unusual condition that he was able to perform at many Barnum and Bailey shows. In fact, the talent could be useful in some situations today, such as scaring people at bars or in grocery lines. But there's no denying that being in a freak show was most likely the best way for this guy to make money. That seems to be the ultimate question. Were circuses at the time exploitative in order to make money off of people like Felix, or were they actually helpful in providing a darn good job for someone who probably couldn't have found work anywhere else? Robert Huddleston, the Pony Boy. Robert Huddleston, also referred to as the Pony Boy, is the next to speak. In actuality, the circuses could have given him the moniker the guy who could not stand up, but that wouldn't have been nearly as hip. He was forced to move around on all fours due to something termed back knee deformity. Unbelievably, Huddleston spent his formative years working as a logging teamster, hauling trees and lumber about 15 kilometers every day while attached to a wagon. Because of all the rigorous labor, Huddleston's arm and shoulder strength nearly became legendary among his contemporaries. He shielded his hands from rocks and brushed debris by strapping little wooden blocks to his hands with leather. He later evolved into a freak show entertainer, yet still one of great distinction. Chang and Deng, Siamese twins. Speaking of notable artists, there is no doubt that these two are the most well-known Siamese twins ever. They were discovered by a British merchant and sent to America to appear in freak shows after being born in Thailand in 1811. They retired after making a fortune touring, purchased property in North Carolina, and were actually well off enough to buy some bondsmen. Even after getting married, the brothers divided their time between their respective residences, spending half the time in each. They eventually gave birth to 21 kids between the two of them. Chang and Deng passed away 2.5 hours apart, or only hours, like many Siamese twins do. You may always look to Chang and Deng as role models because those two truly had it going on if you have to be born as one among Siamese twins. Stefan Biebrowski, the lion-faced man. Biebrowski had hypertrichosis, which is the medical term for what they nicknamed werewolf syndrome, according to authorities. He was just 4 years old when he was found in Europe. As a result, He spent the majority of his time traveling there, but he did spend a few years traveling with Barnum and Bailey in America. Stefan not only had an odd appearance but was also quite smart and multilingual. It was actually said that he genuinely embraced his physical difference and all the chances it presented. And when we stop to think about it, he had a very wise and upbeat attitude on life. Eli Bowen, the Legless Wonder. Eli Bowen had phocomelia disease, which is a genetic condition that causes seal-like limbs. But that's just a rather fancy way of saying he had feet but no legs. Despite his deformity, Bowen was a great acrobat and a strong man. Those abilities are most likely why he made so much money in freak shows. After the circus, Eli married and had 4 normal children, which he was very proud of. He even lived until he was nearly 80 years old.